jacked up. Making stuff and jacked up.
So much.
Making stuff and jacked up. Making stuff and jacked up.
Let it go. You say, get out of the way.
Jacked up.
Get
Play
me
my
taking
music.
time.
Making stuff and jacked up. Making stuff and jacked up. Making stuff and jacked up.
Could just eat it. Just put it right on my gums. So much.
Trust me.
You're listening to MeadowsandMakers podcast.
With Jack Dub and making stuff. Peace.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Meadows and Makers podcast this week. And weird. All right, maybe a little bit of technical difficulty starting at the beginning of the program with the intro song. So apologize for that if it sounds weird. But Rondon's telling me my voice sounds good. So I appreciate that, Rondon. Appreciate that, sir. So, yeah, welcome and good morning to the Meadows and Makers podcast. This is a show where I like to share a lot of information about how to become more reliant and self-reliant in the future. I like to share some information with people that are making things and homesteading and makers and off-gridders and all that kind of information to just empower the individual to becoming more self-reliant in a uncertain future, and just to share and laugh with each other about about things that are happening in the world and what's going on, and how we can make it better. So that's the goal of my show. So this morning, I have an interesting guest coming on that is going to tell us a little bit about a new project that's going on the Steam blockchain. That's going to be an exchange. It's called freedomx.io. And my guest this morning is Instructor 2121. He's been around and been involved in Steemit for quite a long time. And we're gonna figure out what FreedomX is all about, and get to chat with him for a little bit. And just up front, before we get started, just want to give the disclaimer here that the views and opinions that are expressed by myself and those of my guests do not reflect on MSP Waves and the interactive social broadcasting station that they got going on here on Discord. That is one really cool project, and I really I really appreciate them allowing me to have a show on their Discord channel, on the Pal Discord here, and broadcasting live to the MSPwaves.com. So thank you everybody for showing up and hanging out. We got Rondon and Peachy Mod here, and I'm going to go ahead and bring Instructor on so that we can have a little chat. Hey, Instructor, how's it going, man?
Good morning, brother. How are you, man?
Hey, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, we talked a little bit about the show, about my, before the show, about my clearing the sewer lines fiasco that I had going on this week. So I was catching up on a little bit of sleep, but I'm doing good, man.
Well, good, man. Hope you get all that taken care of. I know how bad that can be at times, especially with all this rain we've been getting in this area. So, I've had some issues like that in the past as well, man. It's not.
Yeah. It ain't no fun. But yeah, thank you for coming on the show with me this morning and getting to share a little bit about what you got going on. And I just wanted to, if you wanted to introduce yourself and you maybe tell us a little bit about how you got started. How'd you get started in Steam It, and a little bit about your background.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me, man. I'm sorry I missed your last show. We just have been under a crunch here the past few weeks. My name is my username is Instructor2121. My name is Rick. Most people call me Rick. I entered the Steam ecosystem May of 2016, merely as an investor and really as a troll to start off with, because I was involved with BitShares for a few years prior. Trolled Dan a little bit about some things we had going on with Ethereum and the DAO at the time, because I was an Ethereum holder and invested in the DAO project, which I thought was pretty cool at the time. But in a way, he was right. So my troll was unwarranted. But anyway, here we are. Here we are today, and I got to say, over the past going on 3 years, I've seen our Steam ecosystem grow quite a bit in user base, and different projects popping up. And I've been involved with my own curation type projects, community building type projects, those sorts of things. I was approached, around April of last year, with the idea of maybe building an exchange, but instead of just building it as a general purpose exchange for everything, have it a little more, have it centered around what we're doing here in Steam. In other words, can we build a decentralized DEX, or in our case, it would be more of a hybrid type DEX? Can we build that, in our ecosystem and support some of the things we have going on?
Okay.
And the answer to that was yes. With some work, we can probably work towards that hybrid model using either some developed innovation we have in our ecosystem here, or basically going out to other projects that have what would be required for us to make that happen as far as the hybrid DEX model. So we put together resources, we put together funds, and we started building the Freedom X Exchange in June of 2018.
Okay.
We watched this grow from a one development team to now we've got, I think, 6 total working in the development side of the project. And we brought in some leadership that have been around the ecosystem for a while and are doing some pretty cool things as far as the expansion of the ecosystem. We've been doing some conferences over the past couple of years. Steam Cafe has been running those, so and those have been growing a little bit. We've got another conference coming up in April next month, the 10th and 13th, where
is that the Block Builders Conference?
Yes. So we went from just we have Steam in there, but we invited these other projects just for the sole purpose to, expose them to what we're doing here in the Steam ecosystem. So
Okay.
that synergy, is really the basis around how we see Freedom X, operating. So to get into Freedom X a little bit,
Yeah.
Freedom X is a Steam centric exchange. We've had some things we're doing to get us more into that that centric piece. We're working on a Steam integration process right now with the login. So therefore, new users that come to our exchange, whether they're in the Steam ecosystem or exist in other projects that are coming over to trade their projects new to the listed token, they'll be exposed, and actually they'll enter our ecosystem through the exchange. We find that a great way to cross promote what we're doing, not only Steam but also the applications that are being built that are going to be seeking a listing on the Freedom X exchange. So it gives the Steam ecosystem and these projects, our app projects, more exposure as well. And,
Oh yeah.
and outside the exposure, we can actually look at helping them gain some liquidity in their token,
Right.
some volume, which may assist them in maybe getting listed on other exchanges outside of Freedom X, which is a big plus because currently it's kind of hard to to take an existing project that even has a token that has even tokenized, whether it be an ERC20 or it's very difficult for these guys to go seek a listing with some of these mid-sized to larger size, just because of the value proposition that maybe those exchanges don't see right now. But with the help of
Okay.
some liquidity and some volume, maybe they can look at applying and maybe get listed on those guys. So it's kind of a win for everybody. It's a win for the projects, it's a win for the ecosystems. The Steam ecosystem. So we're just very excited about the exchange. One thing we're boasting is we've got a Steam main trading pair that the applications will be listed there, and also these other projects will be utilizing it. We're not going to be carrying a Bitcoin main trading pair for the sheer fact we want the transactions to go through the Steam main trading pair, because we think it adds a lot of value, even if you need to send it to another exchange or what have you. Benefit in Steam of having free transactions. We want to let people see this,
Yeah.
because one thing I hate the most, having to send, convert Steam to Bitcoin and have to send. It takes forever and it costs me money to do it. So we need to get this out there a little bit more. So yeah, go ahead. You got a question?
Yeah. I was just we talked a little bit before the show about that, and you were talking to me about how this was kind of born out of just you saw the opportunity there to build the exchange in, and so if so the exchange will allow you to will you be able to link up with your bank account or anything like that, kind of like Coinbase allows you to do, and then all your like you said, everything is based to Steam. So could you convert Steam back to fiat if you needed to?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. So our next part of our roadmap for this month is we've partnered with Netcoins to provide this fiat gateway service for us.
Uh-huh.
Initially the fiat gateway service will involve Steam pairings of Steam USD, Steam Canadian dollar, and Steam Euro.
Okay.
And that by partnering with them, it will allow our users at Freedom X to purchase Steam via their checking accounts. So they'll make a purchase and they'll buy Steam, and that Steam will be directly deposited into their Freedom X wallet.
Okay, very cool.
And conversely, the withdrawals will work similar the same way. So it works just like Coinbase would work, except we're not dealing with Bitcoin. So
Yeah.
think of it as being a Steam being listed on Coinbase. That's the service that will be offered.
Yeah, this is very cool. Yeah, so I know some of the bigger exchanges like Binance, they issue their own token. Are you guys going to do something like that with the Freedom X?
Yes, so we've actually already issued our own token. It's called FreeX, and that is a utility token that works on the Steam engine, Steam Smart. It's a Steam Smart Contract token. That's what it is.
Okay.
Uh, we developed it or created it on the Steam engine platform. So what we've done with that is we actually built out our infrastructure uh, for the FreeX wallet.
Okay.
And what that means is if we've got other projects that are, running on that Steam engine platform and have their own SCTs, then we can list their SCTs after they go through. We have a mild application process they have to go through. Some things we have to make sure are in place before we list them.
Uh-huh.
But not only SCTs, but we can list, ERC. There's some projects we have here on Steam in the Steam ecosystem that are running ERC20. So we're set up to handle those as well. So we're proud to actually have this infrastructure in place initially for our token because it just opens up the doors for these other token projects that are out there. And
Yeah.
the whole idea of this is, once we can get a fully functional proof of brain SMT released,
Uh-huh.
those projects that are wishing to convert over to this new SMT, we're going to offer what we call a smart drop service for them, so we can handle all the conversions there within the platform for them.
Now explain that a little bit. That's a little unfamiliar to me. That went over my head a little bit.
Okay, so it's like this. FreeX has their own utility token, the smart contract,
Right.
that we use for free and discounted trading. They're used for taking part in our success share, and we've got a few more services we're going to be adding to it as well that involve that token, the FreeX token.
Okay.
So, we have some ideas that we want to what we want to do when the full smart media token is released.
Uh-huh.
And once it's released, we're going to be converting our FreeX smart contract tokens into the SMTs.
Okay.
And all of our holders that have the FreeX tokens will receive FreeX tokens based on this SMT.
Okay. Now. Okay. Now, so the SMT is something that is so right now everything that's built by Steam Engine is all a smart contract based on the Steam platform, but you're talking about
it's a side chain, but
side chain.
It does hold transactions on the Steam blockchain.
Okay, but SMTs will be on the main chain, is what you're saying?
Correct. Yes.
I gotcha. Okay, gotcha. So yeah, this is really exciting, man. Like, we talked a little bit before the show, and just this is something that for myself, I love it because a lot of how I got involved in the whole cryptocurrency space. I started with just kind of peer-to-peer stuff with Bitcoin, and back with the Mycelium wallet, and you just make you do your your little communications through the wallet, and then you set up a peer-to-peer buying stuff, and but then that evolved into people set up Coinbase, and then people were able to be able to get a little easier ways of buying cryptocurrencies and things like that. But to be able to directly buy Steam without having to pay any of the exchange fees or anything like that on moving your crypto around or whatever is a really valuable thing to me. I mean, yeah, I see so many exciting projects happening on Steam. There's so many people that like we were talking before the show, this was kind of born out of the seeing the ecosystem and seeing that you have the feeless transactions, and that why hasn't anybody created this yet, or why hasn't the Steemit company done this yet? And so there was an opportunity there to build something. So there's opportunities like this all over the place, especially a big one is IPFS services that people are getting started with and trying to figure out how to create that as a service now. So yeah, I think there's like lots of cool opportunities here to to get things going.
Yeah, absolutely. And what it also gives us, what the Freedom X Exchange gives us as far as a company is we now have a tool that we can approach other projects in their communities with. We can offer discounted, trading fees or whatever deal we decide to negotiate with. And at that point, they're announcing we're listed on a new exchange. People will come over to the exchange, see what we got going on, and some will even register. But what it does is it's an easy way for us to expose a lot more people to what we have going on here.
Yeah.
And that's a promotional that doesn't, all it does is that just takes us time and being aggressive to go and contact these projects and and give our value proposition on why they should list with us. So, but as we grow, things get much easier for us because our user base is growing, and as it grows more and more, that value proposition increases because now they've got more eyes on their project. So, it's a win for both ecosystems in that respect. So, we've been very aggressive the past 3 months of just contacting small to mid-size, tokens we think that will fit well and add value to the exchange because we are a business.
Yeah.
And that are going to add value to what we do, but I also look at the numbers that they have to bring over. So it's just a good way, and we use the exchange as a tool to make this happen.
Yeah, this is really cool. So do you have a few of those tokens that you have in mind right now, or is that something that's just going to be revealed later on?
Well, one that we're getting ready to close on is a project called Ontology. They have a pretty big following. I think around 60,000 to 80,000, depending on how you calculate everything. They're based out of Singapore. And they have a real nice project. They're an application chain as well. So, and that's a plus for us as Freedom X, and also plus in the Steem ecosystem because we got more of these apps that are going to be listed with, going on to Steem as a main trading pair. So,
okay,
a lot of trade-offs there. Good trade-offs for us.
Yeah. So the Steem engine, these tokens are so will these tokenized smart contracting tokens, will they are going to be listed on the exchange? Am I correct with that?
The projects that currently have the smart contract tokens can apply for listings with Freedom X. Yes. Okay,
cool. So with Steem Engine, anybody can create their own smart contract token on that. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. There's actually a few people in here that's created theirs. I see one, at least two that I know that have. I don't know if Ron has or not.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. So the whole could you kind of like so the whole idea of the smart media token is to kind of like build your own brand or kind of get rewarded for being able to offer rewards to people that are into what you're doing in your community, something like that.
Yeah, so once Steemit Inc. or whoever does development of the smart media token and it's a fully functional with the features we have that were identified, basically being essentially the same as our Steem native token that we have.
Okay.
People are then able to run their own token, and I think it more or less as them running their own virtualized blockchain as well. But obviously Steam is the blockchain that's all based on. But they can take part in all the features that the Steam token currently has to offer, as well as they can set up distribution parameters,
Okay.
inflationary, or what they call emission rates. We call them inflationary rates, but there's a lot of different things that we can do with that.
Right.
And I've always told people that the one benefit we have, well, the one benefit that stands out among just other than being just DPoS and the way we do our consensus,
Yeah.
is we have this reward layer platform built in, and I mean, you can just go crazy with the use cases. If we had other applications or the websites that actually implemented this. So,
Yeah.
I think it's a great way to tokenize, existing applications, just like we've done with Steemit originally, where it was originally built. So,
Yeah.
I see a lot of benefit, and I'm excited for that. And I tell people all the time that once we can get that rolled out and it's production ready and live, we'll see a lot of things start to happen. Like we're already seeing it now, even with Steam Engine
Yeah.
and having these smart contract tokens. It's actually spurned a lot of excitement in the Steam ecosystem.
Oh yeah.
People are playing around with use cases. Well, how can I do this? Well, how can I do that with this? And it's pretty exciting, man.
Oh yeah, man. It is exciting times around here, even with, all the Steam games and the way that they run as well. Like, you look at some of the, you said you were into Ethereum in the beginning in the ERC20 stuff, and seeing how that runs and how some of those games that they developed on Ethereum run compared to some of the games that are on Steam now. These Steam games seem much smoother than how those Ethereum games run. So
Yeah, and it's really all about the networks that they're on. I mean, I track them on Blocktivity a good bit, but there for a while, man, they were like 100%, network utilization and 30,
Right.
40,000 blocks behind. I'm like, well, how,
Yeah.
that's pretty tough to run anything on that. I mean, even when we had an Ethereum node up, we since had to upgrade all the entire server itself, just because, man, it was the network was just unreliable and it was down, so
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
imagine these applications trying to run something on there and in a timely fashion. It's just, imagine they pull their hair out over that.
Yeah.
And you translate that over into what we have here on our blockchain, and our utilization is what, gosh, maybe 0.2%. I don't think it's even hit that.
Right.
So plus the transaction speed.
Lot-
So you
lots
got
of
a lot
room to
lot
grow.
of upside. Yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, this is really exciting, man. I think this is going to be a huge deal. Now, when will people be able to start using the FreedomX? Like, when is there something live now, or is there going to be a specific date that something is released?
Yeah, so we wrote out our beta release Tuesday, the 26th of February.
Okay.
So signups are active now. We have a referral system in place too. So once you sign up and log in, you just go to your profile section, and we have a referral link section there. And what's good about that initially, until April 30th, all of the referrals, say you go out and you get 10 referrals,
Okay.
and they're actively trading on the FreedomX platform.
Yeah.
You'll receive 50% of their trading fees for the
Oh,
life
wow.
of their account on the exchange.
Okay.
After April 30th, we'll decrease that down to 25%. You're still getting a referral fee, but it's not the 50% you're getting for the first 60 days. And keep in
Okay.
mind that's signed up during the first 60 days. So you'll continue to get 50% off those people you refer forever, as long as they're on the exchange.
Okay.
So yeah, you can sign up, log in, grab your referral link. We have some trading. Right now we've got main pairs of Steam, USDT, and our FreeX token.
Okay.
Got several more like BCH, Litecoin, Ethereum, Dash. We're going to be adding EOS.
Oh,
There's some
cool.
discussion with some of the guys. We're going to see about getting a Tron node up and running as well. So
Okay.
we got those. Those first five I listed, they're already ready to go. We just have to turn them on, and we do this based on demand. If somebody wants to open up if they want Dash to start operating, we'll enable that and get it going on there. So
Okay, so some of the other like Monero, what about Monero? Are these things that is just going to be driven by the customer demand on the exchange?
yeah, customer demand, because there are costs involved for us, and as far as labor and actual monthly costs of maintaining a node. So we want to make sure there's some demand there to help offset those costs.
Okay, okay, very cool. So can everybody find all the information they need from the post that was done on Steam it here?
Yeah, we did a pretty thorough post covering the features that we have to offer, our FreeX token, uh, and details about some of those features. So have a Discord as well.
Okay.
I think it's listed in this post here.
Yep.
You can join us there. We have a nice little community forming there, and we're always in there. And if you got any questions, you can ask your questions in there as well.
Okay, very cool, man. So you were able to you got 6 developers behind you. Are they all fellow Steamians?
You know what? They were 2 of them are not.
Uh-huh.
I gotta say we got Dagan, Crazy GM, Mashul. 1, 2, 3. I think I'm probably leaving out somewhere. I have to go back and look through them, but I know those three have Steam accounts. I don't know if ZZ has one or not.
Okay. Okay. Very cool, man. Yeah. Yeah. So this is exciting. So you just had you knew some guys and you put together a team and you're championing stood up and championed this exchange.
Yeah, had to put together outside of development. Everyone else on the team, they are Steamians. Guys we've known for a while now that do real well in their roles that they have with Freedom X. So, but yeah, just saw the need, got some encouragement from a few people, and decided to put all the resources together and go ahead and knock this thing out, man, and see what we got.
Yeah.
In our beta form we have now, we've got on a roadmap that's listed, in our Discord. We just released it, I think 2 days ago, but we'll be doing a post about it. After our beta, we're integrating the fiat gateway, but we also
Okay.
have a new user interface we're working on, and we've been also testing a version 2 of our trading engine that I think everyone will be pleased with. So,
Okay.
and those are scheduled for March and April. Those are 2 of our biggest additions we got going on for the next 60 days.
Okay, so right now you can get signed up and in with the beta, and then the plan is to open the fiat gateway in March. You said.
Yeah, it's look like it's going to be towards the end of March, 3rd or 4th week of March.
Okay. Okay. Very exciting. Very exciting. So now is the time to get in on the ground floor of this thing.
Yeah, we're like I said, we're excited about it, man, and
Yeah.
it's only going to grow because like I've told you, we're in discussions with several other projects, and I mentioned one of them to you guys.
Yeah.
Once we start getting more of this user bases into the Freedom X platform, then we expect to increase pretty quickly. we've gotten a real good
Yeah.
response so far just from our Steam community, which I'm very impressed with.
Yeah. So now you got an event coming up, right? You guys are doing the Block Builders conference in Austin, or you got I saw that you guys are sponsoring that.
Yeah, so we're one of the main sponsors for the Global Block Builders Conference. Uh, it's April 10th through 13th in Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas was chosen because it's a great city,
Yeah.
first off, and secondly, we have Steam and Ink's located there. So from Steam and Ink, we're gonna have Miss Eli Powell. She's going to be speaking there, and
Okay.
Andrew Levine Andrarchy is going to be speaking there as well. But
Okay.
we also have 4 venture capital companies. I think was the last total I got that are going to be joining us. We've got CEO of LA Token who's going to be joining us. We're trying to work. We got another exchange. IJ hasn't Steam Cafe hasn't released it to us yet, but hopefully they can make it because we want to sit down and have some discussions, seeing how we can work together. I'd love to get some sharing of some order books, that sort of thing happening. But just starting a dialogue will be a plus for us. But it's going to be a really nice conference. If you go check them
Yeah.
out at globalblockbuilders.com, they list all the speakers that are gonna be there. So
Okay.
hoping everybody can make it out.
Yeah. Yeah. This is cool. So, have you gotten a really positive response from all the people that you've been talking to?
Yes, we have. We have. It's especially some of the things where, I have colleagues that don't like the centralized, exchange model, and I don't like it either. Matter of fact, I don't really care for having to be custodian of user funds while they're in the exchange. So that's one of the reasons why we're pushing towards this hybrid DEX model, so we can do the peer-to-peer trading, and we don't
Okay.
have to deal with that aspect of everything. So,
Yeah.
and once we get to that point, you know, I'll be really happy.
Yeah. Well, especially the all the news that happened, especially with that what happened to the Quadriga exchange was quite interesting, and the guy losing the keys. So that's just like another kind of case for keeping it decentralized.
Yeah, that whole situation was very important. That's one thing that you want to prevent. You want to,
Yep.
if you're going to hold customer funds, first you need to have multi-signature enabled. You need to get a role-based type deal within your infrastructure. So, and that's one of the main things we have focused on as far as securing the wallets, both hot and cold.
Okay.
The hot wallets may take us a little bit more time, but by applying the multi-sig there, it gives me a little more peace of mind that our funds are going to be safe, and that's my main concern.
Yeah. That's awesome. Cool.
But
Yes.
I would hope, unless when people aren't trading, the funds aren't sitting. If they're just there for trading, that's good. But to use it as their own personal cold storage wallet, you keep the keys and keep it on themselves somewhere outside of any exchange, for that matter.
Right. Yeah. That's really cool, instructor man. Yeah, I'm really excited about your project and how you guys set this up. It's it's really exciting news for Steemit, in my opinion, and everybody that's here and given the opportunity to get involved in the exchange and on the ground floor here as it's just getting started. So yeah, man, thanks for joining me on the show today. I know you said you had about 30 minutes. We went over that for a little bit, but yeah, if there's anything else that you want to share with the audience, and anything else you want to talk about.
No, I just want to say thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
It's a Saturday morning and just getting my day started, so I got started on the show today, which is good. Got my blood pumping a little bit, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, I really appreciate you coming on and having a chat with me. Yeah, that's is you see you sent me your you sent me the link about what's happening, and I've been wanting to have you on for a while, and appreciate you coming on to have a chat with me.
Yeah, man, absolutely enjoyed it. Enjoyed it. Have to do some more of these, man. I don't mind getting on some of these shows and discussing what we have going.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful, man. You're welcome. You're welcome back anytime, and yeah, I'll love to keep track with all the new updates that are going on. Uh, so yeah, for sure. Yeah. So yeah, thanks again, instructor, and like I said, man, you're welcome back anytime.
Thanks, big guy. Thanks everybody for listening in. Inertia, Peachy Mod, Rondon, Voltec, What Vindictive. I'll see you guys around Discord. Have a nice day. Enjoy your weekend.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, guys. Yeah, that was instructor, and he's got the freedomx.io going for everybody that's on Steam. And this is a very, very cool project that's going on. So, yeah, everybody that's I got the rest of you guys in the audience here today. So, that's like instructor said. I guess a couple of you guys already have your own tokens. I think What's Up created the Stingy token, if I'm not mistaken. That's hanging out with us today. And Inertia, I guess, or was it Inertia that created the Stingy token? Yeah, Inertia is currently making stuff. So, yeah, that's something that I haven't tried yet, is to play around with those smart those tokens yet, and the smart contracting tokens, and so okay, What's Up? You got the drama token. All right, gotcha. And Inertia's got the Stingy token. Okay, cool, very cool. So I'm guessing these things work like the ERC20, kind of like just the smart contracting token. I haven't looked that much into the Steam Engine stuff yet, so I'm not that familiar with it. But it's very neat that people can create and issue their own tokens, and how all that's going to be wrapped up into these smart media tokens. So so yeah. So this is all very intriguing to me, and if anybody wants to come on and have a chat about those tokens, y'all are welcome to, and to maybe educate me a little bit more about that, because this is something I'm familiar with, the smart contracting with the ERC20 tokens, so that people could do their ICOs for their different projects and things like that. So people can invest their Steam in and buy some of your tokens, is what I'm assuming. And so you can like self-fund your own projects and things like that, and offer people value based on your token. And so, or just create whatever kind of token, I guess. Like you can create a crypto kitty or whatever kind of neat little project or game, I guess, based on, and incentivize it with your token. So I guess that's a little bit of my understanding about it, and I'm speculating on some of that. I need to look into how the Steam Engine works and all that stuff, and look into that more. But yeah, for the show today is kind of a loose show, so I have been working on some little home repairs and stuff this week, and one kind of kept me up. Like I said in the beginning of the show, I think I was probably awake for I didn't sleep for a couple of nights, actually. So I caught up on some sleep on Friday, and today is kind of shooting from the hip a little bit, but one of the things that I've been looking into and studying a little bit this week is DIY power walls and the whole secondary market for batteries. And one of the guys that I'm really into that I follow that's doing a lot of this stuff is Jehu Garcia. And I was actually sitting in on one of his YouTube live streams this week, and I was able to get the message of Steam out there to his audience. Actually, I had written a post about what he's doing with these. He's making custom PCB boards for building your own Powerwall systems. And so I dropped that link that I wrote about his efforts there into Steam it. And actually, he posted that article up on his private Facebook group, which I got pulled up right now. And so anybody that's interested in doing these battery systems with the lithium ion batteries is, open to join his Facebook group. And, it's just all people in here that are playing around with building their own DIY battery walls. And there's a lot of good information, and a lot of people are sharing some good information here. If anybody still uses Facebook, this is one of these things that this is one of the reasons I still kind of use Facebook a little bit, is to get into some of these groups and to learn from what these guys got going on. So there's still some interesting groups that are doing stuff on there, and this is one of the cool ones that I really enjoy. So, yeah. So let me catch back up in the chat here. What's going on? Okay. So yeah. So what's up? Got her drama token issued, and so Inertia. Let's see. Julia Ponske Ford, did Inertia make an annoying purpose, or have you become sentient? Oh, banjo. Gotcha. Yeah. So token creation without smart contracts. Okay. What's up? All right. Yeah. So it's all about token creations. Cool. Yeah, that is one thing on Steam, is there is there's a little bit of the drama happening from time to time. So and it is wild. I mean, all of it's totally out in the open. People I got caught up in a little bit of it this last week, actually, because there was one of the guys that was complaining a little bit about the Steam Monsters game, and he was talking to Agrod and Yabapamat about the way that tournaments are going, and I had put a comment out there like there's free tournaments still. Like, I can kind of understand both sides. Like, as a business in the bear market, these guys are trying to make it so that they can grow the business and things like that. And but I did see the guys. I do see the guy's complaint there, and so I commented back to him and did that little thing, and so him speaking out about it actually got the Agrod and Yabafamat responded to that. So that's kind of neat thing about Steam is that it is all in the open, and so people can respond to a lot of that stuff, and call people out if they think that they're doing something. Yeah. if they think that they're not holding their word or whatever. So yeah, it's a thing of business as well, is that sometimes you gotta answer your critics and things like that. So I thought it was cool that they responded to the guy, and they took some action on it, and it's neat that that happens here, and that people can, we can hold each other accountable and things. So it's interesting. And Rondon asks I've heard of Dissenter yet. No, I haven't, man. If you want to come on and tell me about it, you're welcome to. So I don't know about that, and and you're welcome to come tell me about it. So silly flaggy fights, yeah, those happen. Hey, Crimson Clad, thanks for joining. Yeah. So this is kind of a free flow, a little bit of a free flow show today, and going into just some of the things that I've been checking out this week. I was talking about DIY power walls, and so getting back into this. This is a way that you can make your battery storage a little cheaper, and one of the big things that Jehu Garcia talks about with the whole battery and battery storage is that Elon and Tesla are building the power walls. However, there's been delays on getting the full power wall batteries out. You might be in a waiting list. The power walls themselves for a 10 kilowatt hour of storage, which is quite substantial for a standard American household. It's a good amount of energy that you can store. They're about $3,500 for a lithium ion Tesla Powerwall, and so using these DIY methods for building your own power walls, you can circumvent the issues of you might have to wait. Another good thing is that if you're doing a DIY, you understand the system and you can be able to repair things, and you're more intimate with the system. You know how everything's working. And if you're a reliant kind of person, self-reliant kind of person, then you're setting up these. Oftentimes, you're setting all these things up yourself as well, and so those are some advantages over it. Plus, you can save some money. So, what Jehu's doing, building the custom PCB boards with their own battery management systems, they're still cheaper than the power walls now, and but it's comparative. So the power walls a little bit more, they're a little bit less with all the PCBs that he's created to build your own kits. But however, if a lot of people start getting into building their own stuff, that the cost for him will start coming down as well. So it can get even more competitive and build, kind of a whole secondary market there. So those are some opportunities I see is for people that are going off grid or doing RVs or tiny houses, or if you want to set up your own intentional community or something like that to start getting into doing DIY Powerwall systems and doing individual setups for individual homes. And that was one thing that I actually encountered this week. I do solar panels. I buy and sell solar panels, and so this week I met up with a gentleman that this week that lives in a small homesteaders community in Tennessee, and they have a whole small community that's forming out there on some land. And I kind of see a lot of these things. The guy I was chatting with him for a little while said that he grew up in the city his entire life, and this is an adventure he's taking now. He's a little bit older gentleman, but there are some people that have some money that are kind of tired of the way things are going right now in the system, and they're choosing to live more of a self-sufficient lifestyle and actually sell their houses in the cities and move out to the country and get something started. And so my opinion is, for a lot of the alternative energy technologies, is that the groundswell is in these communities and people that are doing the off-grid RVs and things like that. That's what I've seen in my local market so far. Is that's a lot of the demand for the solar panels and for the energy systems are all in around the off-grid communities and the tiny home community. So yeah, a lot of people are getting into that. And yeah, the lithium ion batteries, the one of the big selling points for especially the 18650 batteries is they're quite plentiful, and they're mass manufactured. So there is yeah. Yeah, Steam QA, thanks for joining. So yeah, the getting back into the lithium ion battery systems is that these batteries can be found on the secondary market, and one of the big sellers of them is this company Battery Hookup, and they have their own eBay site, and they buy and sell and test these batteries off of recycled laptops and things like that. And so you can buy those batteries cheaper that way. So yeah, but Steam QA brought up a point. There would be some EMP in the next 10 years, and making stuff will be the only person left surviving. Jeez, that's part of what I do, and the reason that I do it is that, for one, I just really curious about things, and I started to play around with, creating my own power and things like that. And in that process, I realized how empowering it actually is to do all that stuff. So, I got the face slap from what's up there, but but yeah, it really is empowering to start producing your own power, and to start small and just start learning. And once you do it, and once you have your own little system run into power, I just started with a refrigerator. I wanted to start off with my own little system to see what I could power with it. So I started off with like 630 watts of solar panels, and and 4 wet self golf cart batteries. So I started off with that little tiny system, and now I've expanded to building the enclosed trailer, survival trailer project that I'm working on. So it's like 1.98 kilowatts of solar panels, and then I have 8 of the wet cell batteries in there, giving me around 10 kilowatt hours of storage. And it's got a 3,000 watt smart inverter system in there, smart charge controller and inverter system that it'll input power from a generator if grid goes down, and help top off the batteries once it falls below a certain level, around 90% discharge. So if the batteries fall below, like if they discharge about 10%, then the generator can kick in to recharge the batteries if the solar's not doing the job. And so yeah, I started from there, and I moved up from there, and saw an opportunity to help pay for my projects by getting wholesale panels and buying them in bulk. And so I was able to talk with a few friends in my local area that were also interested in solar, and we got together to buy a pallet of panels. And I kept some for my projects, and then I sold the other ones. And so being able to do that in your local community is something that can help bring the cost for the panels down, because being able to get together as your community, you can get these panels for as low as 40 cents per watt. And regularly, if you were going to buy the panels, say from Renogy, which has the yeah, yeah, I have been posting about this. My last article on Steam It, one of my more recent articles from last Sunday. I've been doing a weekly tech article about every Sunday, and so last Sunday I posted about the whole DIY Powerwall thing, and I'm going to continue to post about technologies that I believe that can be rolled out right now, and some of my experiences that I've been doing in my local market. I did make a post a while back about my experiences in the local market of buying and selling, and some tips for people that want to get started, just doing exactly what I'm talking about right now, which is, getting with some friends and, investing in a pallet of panels, and then you build your project, and then you sell part of the panels to help pay for the project that you're working on. So it's a really good way to get started and start learning about solar power. If you have some people that may be interested and you want to get started with something small, start with a small system. Even I built one of the earlier systems in something that I wanted to kind of proof of concept. The solar power was starting off with just a 100 watt solar panel, and that'll cost you about $100. If you wanted to buy just a single 100 watt solar panel, you can buy them directly from Renogy, which are they're made in the U.S. and they are they produce high quality monocrystalline solar panels, and they don't charge anything for shipping. It's $100, and it's free shipping, and they ship it right to you. And they actually sell a lot of the little kits as well. So if you're wanting to play around with something, then you can order their charge controller. I think their kits come with everything but the battery that you're going to use for your battery storage, and an inverter. So they'll come with your charge controller, your solar panels, your wiring, and pretty much everything you're going to need except for your battery system to get started. So that's they're very popular with people that are doing the RVing and all that stuff, because it kind of makes it they kind of puts everything out there for you for being able to get started with the systems. And I recently also came across a guy on YouTube associated with Jehu Garcia, who is really into doing all that stuff as well. He has a really good channel on giving you a lot of tips on how to set up your systems for your RV, and he does a lot of tests on different products and things like that. And one of his last videos that I watched was he has converted, he's taken and bought some of the batteries out of the Tesla cars. Often these Tesla cars, they'll wreck, and when they get wrecked, they can't put the batteries into another Tesla, and so those batteries end up on the secondary market. And sometimes a lot of the times, some of these batteries are like 70 or 80% depleted. And so one of the things that he talked about in the video was, you're buying one of these Tesla lithium ion packs on the secondary market, and typically they have like 5.5 kilowatt hours of storage, but they're depleted to a certain point, so like 70% depleted. So you're only really getting like 3.5 or 3.2 kilowatt hours in the battery. And so what he suggested was there are some in production batteries out there that you can buy, and one of them is called Battleborn, and it is they're 12-volt set up as 12-volt batteries, but they're lithium. I believe they're lithium iron phosphate battery chemistry, so they are lighter weight, and they're an alternative to the standard lead acid batteries. So anybody that's interested in doing the RVing and going off grid with in RV or something like that, yeah, these two guys, Jehu Garcia and Will Prowse, are a couple of the guys to check out that are really useful information on all this. And I will be bringing more videos, doing walkthroughs myself. I plan to do some walkthroughs on some systems and a couple of the systems that I built, and be creating more content here on Steam It for all this stuff. So
what do you think about those the LiFo lithium iron phosphate batteries? Like they don't have the highest energy density, do they?
Yeah, so the thing about the lithium iron phosphates, from what I understand and playing around with them, yeah, thanks for joining, Rondon.
Yeah, just butt in your
yeah, I know, yeah.
I've actually been in here for like 15 minutes now. You told me to join earlier, but you were on a good roll. So. Oh,
sorry about that. Yeah, I got a little distracted going into the lithium battery technology. So I've messed with the lithium iron phosphate batteries. There's some cells out there, Headway 38120 cells that are fairly cheap, that they sell on the secondary market. And the lithium iron phosphate chemistry allows you to do more cycling with the batteries and deeper cycling, so they can be discharged heavier, and they also have a higher current output on the battery, so you can do things that demand a higher current pull or something like that. One of the guys that another guy that I follow is an emergency ham radio operator guy, and he uses the lithium iron phosphate batteries for a lot of his ham radio operations where you need a good current draw, and you can up the power output. So he's a big proponent of using the lithium iron phosphate battery chemistry, but the advantages of the lithium ion batteries are that they're more mass produced than the lithium iron phosphates, and so you have much more supply of them out there, and to help bring the cost down even further. And then there's a lot of components and stuff readily made for those batteries as well. So
yeah, aren't they more like the lithium ion are more energy dense too, right? So like you'll get way more like kilowatt hour per kilogram,
amp hours, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, amp hours.
Yeah. So that is another thing about that. So the lithium iron phosphate is more about your cycling. So I think they're just better on their duty cycling and all that kind of stuff. So they can handle hard.
They're also better on like safety and stuff too. Like
correct.
Prone to like being in big fires and stuff like you've seen on like YouTube videos.
Yeah. Actually, in fact, in the Facebook group, there was a cautionary tale on there that some guy had the lithium ion batteries in his pocket to carry him around, and he had some change in his pocket, and it caused a short, and it blew up in his pocket and overheated, and he had to go to the hospital for it. So yeah, so things like that. I mean, you could do that with the lithium iron phosphates, but it would melt whatever you had, not the battery though. The battery, they do well on the high current output, so without overheating. So yeah, So that's one of the advantages of the lithium iron phosphate over the standard lithium ion as well. So yeah, the guys are starting to play around with them, and like I said, the Will Prowse guy he recommended the Battleborn lithium iron phosphates versus the Tesla batteries if you wanted to do your own RV setup because of the weight. They're a lot less weight than the standard lead acid AGM batteries. They're pretty heavy.
Nice. Yeah. The lead acid batteries are just, oh man.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I've been lugging those around. The wet cell batteries are heavy. They're the cheapest ones you can buy though, because you can get on you can go to Sam's Club, you can go down to Sam's Club and you can buy those 6-volt wet cell batteries for like $68 a pop. But
well, how many amp hours though? Like the ones that we had for the 6-volt ones for the golf cart, they were like super deep though, and they were super heavy, and there was six of them.
Yeah, they're 215 amp hours at 6 volts, and so it's actually a good amount of storage that you can get out of them. So.
I'm still quiet. What's up?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Ron's a little quiet. I turned up my mixer a little bit there, so maybe that helped out. Yeah. So. The golf cart batteries, you have to be careful because they discharge hydrogen as well, and so you definitely don't want to use those in an RV application where you have like a bed or something around it or something like that. So you definitely want to use a sealed lead acid or some kind of like Will Prowse is playing around with these lithium iron phosphates. I think the lithium iron phosphates are going to really change how, especially for people that want to go off grid in their RVs. I think you're going to see a lot of people start using those.
Yeah, they seem to be safer to like put in the place that you're living.
Yeah.
As far as like, I don't know, like phones and stuff, we'll probably never use them.
Yeah.
They don't need that high amperage draw, and plus, they need a lot more energy density. So, even though you still have the safety of the lithium iron phosphate, is probably not going to make up for the, it's not going to make up for the energy density lost because nobody. I don't know. I guess the phones are now moving back to being a little thicker because it was, who can make the thinnest phone ever.
Yeah.
Now that it's gotten so freaking thin that you can't even hold the thing anymore.
Yeah.
They're kind of moving away from that now.
Yeah. Speaking of phones, I just got into it's kind of unrelated. Well, it's really unrelated, but he talked about it. But I've been getting into Wim Hof lately, and all this stuff that he does with he's called the Iceman, and he is trained himself to withstand like extremely cold temperatures and with no kind of protection from the elements. So he was a guy that like hiked Mount Everest with no clothes on, essentially just like some swim trunks and all this stuff. But yeah, he was in an interview with Joe Rogan, and he was talking about how he thinks that a lot of the cell phone and a lot of the technology that's out right now is really detrimental for human beings. And yeah, I think I don't know, they're so dang useful for doing business and things like that, especially if you're doing something online. Like, with what I do with the solar panel wholesaling, like I don't know if I would have, it would be a lot more difficult to be able to do that without having something like being able to connect to like OfferUp or the local, Let Go and Facebook Marketplace and things like that to get the word out. There's Craigslist and things like that, but having those, a majority of them, my contacts were through Facebook Marketplace on my phone. So, you love them and you hate them. So I don't know with the cell phones.
I've actually mine's useless now. It's
Oh
basically
yeah.
just something I look at when I poop.
Well, that's good. Like, yeah, I think the minimized use of it can only help your health. I think, and I got into it on the show several times back, but I'm a continuing proponent that I don't believe 5G is good for us, and really think that we shouldn't be stepping into this whole 5G and rolling it out. You know, especially the way that they're doing it is that nobody's they're not they haven't. I believe the heads of the companies and the head of Verizon even said that like they haven't done any real testing for people with it, and they're just gonna roll it out. And so,
Well, the head of the FCC said that, like they were asking him,
yeah,
like, what's the health risks and whatever is they're going to be testing, and I can't remember the exact quote, but I mean he was quoted there at the press conference like, no, we're not going to do any health testing, and no, like that's not going to matter or something like that, like
yeah.
just basically, no, this is happening, you know, we've been paid off by our lobbyists, and
Trust
you can't
us,
stop
it's
us.
gonna be good though. Yeah, man. Yeah. So, and there's much better stuff too. Like we could do everything in fiber optic internet and just lay all that out, and it's not going to be harmful. And so, in my opinion, this is all getting rolled out as an agenda. Yeah. Microwave. It's high frequency and high power. And so it has a difficulty transmitting at far distances. So they're going to have to put them closer to people's houses and more on the streets and more in your face.
Yeah, they got to put them every few blocks in order for them to be able to overlap with each other, and that way it's kind of like the cell phone signals. You have to be able to you got to pick up off of the next tower before you can go off the first tower that you're connected to.
Yeah.
So like in order for 5G to work, they got to have them like every few blocks, because the higher the frequency, the more information you can get, but the less range it has.
Yeah.
And let's see, I just looked it up.
Yeah.
It doesn't. There's a specific. The specification demand speeds up to 20 gigabytes per second, or gigabits per second.
Holy crap.
But there's not it can include frequencies below 6 gigahertz and higher frequencies above 24 gigahertz. So it's not a specific frequency, but it is, I guess, the specification really has more to do with the speed.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
the country that's leading the way in developing 5G technology, Israel, funny enough, isn't going to have 5G. If that tells you anything.
Yeah. 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 How about that? So, I other than people really speaking out against it right now, there hasn't been a whole lot of pushback from the masses and on the whole 5G thing, and I think it's just kind of gonna get. I don't want it to just get rolled out. I like to raise more awareness of it, especially just talking about it and the concerns about it. Like we were saying, the head of the FCC is just saying, hey man, we haven't really tested it, let's just roll it out. People got to be scratching their head on that and saying, hold on a minute, why should we be doing this if we don't
used to work for
even
Verizon?
Yeah,
that's kind of like, that's the thing, these giant bureaucracies, it's like revolving doors with these big companies, and
oh, it absolutely is, and that's it's the corporate and state have merged. They're one entity, and so it's just people we're kind of brainwashed. A lot of times, well, growing up here into that the government's got your best interests at heart. I guess a lot of people have that mentality, but you know, they don't. They don't. So
Crimson believes that Justin Trudeau is going to save her.
Isn't he involved in some kind of scandal or something right now where they're
Oh no, that's all fake news. He would never do such a thing.
Yeah,
Am I
yeah.
still quiet? You might need to turn me up. I got myself cranked pretty good.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go into the advanced settings, I think, or
Oh, you just right click me.
oh yeah, on Discord. Yeah, I can turn you up on Discord. Yeah. So yeah, so old Trudeau is involved in something. It sounds like they're trying to get him to step down or something. Probably not going to happen, but the guy is just like I don't know. Yeah, the whole thing seems kind of silly.
He's much too pretty to be involved in any scandals.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oh, you Canucks. Nah, it's all screwed up. The government's, in my opinion, we just need to start moving away into our own systems and leave the governmental systems behind and not, try to avoid getting into any of their stuff and try to, withdraw our support, by interacting with each other in our communities through agorism and things like that, just, trading in gray markets and black markets and things like that. And circumventing the governments and all that, and just leaving them behind and just don't even pay attention to them really. 'Cause it's really just a distraction to get everybody fighting each other, in my opinion.
Well, we need to stop funding things with stolen money. I think that's the crux of it. Like, if we stop funding things with stolen money, then people aren't like, oh, I was stolen from, so now I got a dog in this fight, and I'm going to fight with my neighbor over how stolen money gets used.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, realize they're going to steal your money. And that's what they're all about. So just stop giving them money. But it's easier said than done. Like, to get around a lot of the taxes, you gotta get creative about it, and
Do you? I thought you just stopped filing, and then everything just worked out.
Yeah, you can stop filing, and you just got to be prepared to stand up for yourself in a hard way. You got to you might have to pull a McAfee, and GTFO. But yeah, I guess the biggest thing is they can seize your property, and that's the biggest thing. So, with cryptos, I guess they could, try to seize your cryptos, but the only way they could do it is if they, had found your private keys or your seed phrases and things like that, and if they forced it out of you at some point. But the big thing is them, seizing your property. So, but that's,
they can't get it if it's in my mom's name.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. Like, I know a while back, I think there was like some projects for doing, or maybe it's Croatia or one of these countries that does, you can buy a passport or something from them, and you can have an identity through another country. So I'm wondering, like, if digital identities are going to become a thing where people do a lot of stuff through different digital identities or something like that could be verified via. Yeah, that's something I kind of speculate about the future as well.
I want citizenship in Liechtenstein, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. They're kind of tough on that.
Liechtenstein. I know I've applied for citizenship in Liberland, and I believe you can either buy a citizenship in there for like, I think it's like $5,000 or something like that. I can't remember all the details, but they allow you to. It may not be 5,000. It might be like 5,000 of what they're calling their credits or whatever. But they're setting it up so that you're buying like a share in the country essentially. So you can either do work for them and earn these credits, like you can help them build infrastructure and different things like that, or you can straight up, if you have the cash, you can just buy your way into getting a piece, your passport or citizenship in Liberland. So that's an interesting one that's going on. And I think what their idea is, they're going to start actually in boats and stuff offshore of that disputed space between, I believe it is Croatia and Montenegro. And it's interesting, man. If you've been following that at all, it's going to be an interesting thing. But I want to bring the survival trailers to Liberland. I want to ship them out there and have all the anarchists, living in their own little self-contained build little tiny home, or little villages all through Liberland with their central, they have a little trailer there that you can just ship on shipping containers and get them shipped over there and get everybody started rapidly, homesteading and stuff out there. That's kind of one of my visions. If I could make that happen, I'm living in Liberland. So that's kind of where my future vision is thinking. Like I have my little property in Alabama, and I start making these trailers, and then I get them put on shipping containers in Mobile, and I'd go ship them out internationally wherever people are looking for them. So that's one of my visions. If I can make it there, I'll be happy.
Nice. Now El Gecko's put some crazy stuff in there with the electromagnetic effects of cell phones, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
You see that?
Yeah, I see. Yep. Yeah.
Geldrolen effect.
Well, that
verb clumped.
Well, we are electromagnetic, our cells and everything like that. We're electromagnetic. So to think that we're not going to be affected by electromagnetic frequencies is very hubris. So, we get affected by all these things. And so, I think that's the question that we all have to start asking ourselves, is that, do we want to move in that direction? Do we want to start reconnecting with, I believe, with who we are, with nature, and that's why I got I'm getting so into Wim Hof. I'd like to go train with Wim Hof in Poland, where he has his little training facility, and go hike the mountains and stuff in the cold and go do that whole thing. It's pretty fascinating that there's a lot of the science that's actually backing up what he's doing, that is showing that when he goes into the response, his body responds to the cold by shifting from his neocortex to the more reptilian part of the brain, and kicks in his adrenaline. And that adrenaline response is what keeps his core temperature and all that stuff going, to be able to respond to the cold. And then, and now a lot more studies. He's getting more people involved that have like serious illnesses and cancers and things like that, to see how his method will, how these people will respond to his method. And so, there's a lot of gurus and people out there that talk about all these things. But the reason that Wim Hof is so fascinating is that he's bringing the science into it, and he's getting people educated on how all that what he's doing and the power of the mind is actually affecting the human body, and how well our own immune systems can function if we just interact and pull and are able to communicate with our bodies better through these techniques. So that's why I'm totally fascinated with it. Yeah, Faraday cage hats. You know what? I don't know. Like, maybe it might not be a bad idea to start looking into like mesh metal clothing or something like that. If they're gonna roll it all out, or definitely just don't live in cities. If this thing's all rolling out as fast as it's gonna roll out and nobody's questioning it, then the people that aren't living in cities are probably gonna be better off health wise than everybody that is living in the cities and getting bombarded by more of that, more of the radiation from the 5G network. So, yeah, speak out against it and look into it if you haven't, for sure. And if you're living in a city where they're just trying to roll it out, I would definitely start contacting your local councilmen and women, and getting in their faces about it, and just starting to raise some more awareness in your local communities. Like, I know a couple of my friends, they're working for Verizon right now, and they're part of that company, and I talked to them about it and raised the concerns, and they're like, from what they're very apathetic to the issue, and saying like, it's going to happen. It's good. You're not going to be able to fight it and all this stuff. It's just going to happen. So it's like, it's seriously getting pushed. So, there's something to think about for sure.
Oh, dude, let's talk about dissenter.
Yeah. You said something about dissenter. I don't know what that is.
So I take it it's pretty new. I've just heard about it the other day. It might be a little old, but it's something from gab.ai. I don't know if you've ever heard of that platform.
Yeah, I have. They're like the Twitter for people that want to speak out and that don't censor people. Yeah.
Yeah. So what they did is they made this browser plugin and also a website, dissenter.com, where essentially it's a comment section for any site. So like if you find a YouTube video in limited state, if you're on a BBC article or anything, like every single website, you can just plug the link in then it's and it's a uncensored comment section for every article, for every video, for everything, where nobody can.
No way.
And I don't know. I'm pretty excited about it. I just installed I actually just made a Gab account. I never even had one yet.
Yeah.
But,
okay, so you have to have a Gab account, and that allows you to go on the videos and leave comments that you think based on what that video is saying.
Yeah. So you can
just drop the link to the video, and then you just make your comment.
Yeah. So you enter the link. Then it's like, okay, well, what comment do you want to make? And then you make the comment, but if somebody else has already put that link in there and has already made comments, then you don't even have to do that. It'll just bring up all those comments.
Ah, that's cool.
Yeah, and then there's a browser plugin where you don't have to go to dissenter.com and drop the link. You can just automatically, just click the browser button, the extension button on your browser, and see all the comments or add your own.
Oh, how about that, man? Well, that's really cool.
It's really something I wish somebody on Steam had already done, but
yeah.
I mean, I don't know though.
Well, hey, that's an opportunity there, right? That's an opportunity to build something like that.
Well, it is, but then again, do we want? I don't know. How hard is it still to this day to make an account, right?
Right.
Like, that's one of the drawbacks, which I understand, and I don't think like I'm actually one of the people that were like turn off the faucet, like stop making free accounts. Like this stuff costs money, and if you give it away for free, it lowers the value. And then on top of that, you see the kind of people who are making accounts, like especially here in mental support.
Yeah.
When you're like like there's 25,000 registered people here in mental support.
Yeah.
And quite a few of them are the same person with 100 accounts. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
And that's not something that's rare. That's actually something that's very common.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
these
because
people-
it's an exploit of the system. Yeah, people can go in there and just create a bunch of accounts and just try to get the auto upvote or whatever somehow.
Right. And I mean, to somebody who, a 3-cent post actually means something to them, like they'll do that times 100. Oh yeah.
Right.
We've banned so many people. Like,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous because we've caught them doing that. Like,
Yeah. How do you catch that though? Like, cause people could make like a ton of different images and like, you just kind of
Well,
look
it's
for the
basically-
fishy ones where it's like 25 rep or something like that.
I'm not going to get down into all of it, but essentially, a lot of the times it's just wallets. Actually, you can see what all these accounts are sending it all to one account is a lot of the time
Ah, gotcha.
because
Yeah.
they consolidate it all into one wallet a lot of the times. And then there's other things. There's a lot of different behaviors and stuff that really give them away.
Yeah. So, that is a good thing. That is one thing that is good, I guess, about keeping a lot of that stuff public, is because it can help you pick out bad actors on the network. So that is a neat thing. I'm a big proponent of privacy, but also the having everything open like it is on Steam is really good for what you're talking about on bad actors on the network.
Yeah. But, I don't know. There's got to be some way. And I think it really is just going to boil down to whenever cryptocurrency reaches mass adoption, when everybody has some Bitcoin or Litecoin or Ethereum or something, and then they go, oh, I can spend 0.0001 Bitcoin and make an account with some power on Steam. Sure. That's what I'll do. You know what I mean? Like, then it's going to be nothing. But right now, it's like, oh, I got to spend, it's right now, there's a bit of a problem. Like, you want to give it away for free because you want people to join the network, but giving it away for free causes so much spam. It causes so much crap. Like, it causes all these abusers. The people who, it's the same kind of principle. It's like you give a 16-year-old kid a brand new car when he turns 16 that he never worked for, never had to do anything for. Just give it to him. They're going to treat it like crap, and that's kind of what's happening on Steam with these new accounts. Which, I mean, I was one that was also given a free account.
Yeah.
So like, I
Right.
don't know how my life would have been different if I couldn't have got a free account. So
Yeah.
it's really hard to say.
Yeah. Well, getting the free account is an enticing thing for people that want to get started into cryptocurrency, and this is like the first thing that they've done. So I I was involved in the cryptos for a little while before getting on Steam but being able to get an account and being able to earn your crypto by giving out content and creating content is just another on ramp or way for people to start to understand what cryptocurrency is and how to use it and things like that. So yeah, there's good and bad to it, I guess, for the free accounts, but I really like the services out there now that are helping, giving people a way to get started immediately. So there's trade-offs, I guess, right? Because you could take a while for the verification steps and all that with a free account, but then you could also get immediately started if you paid for a little bit for an account. So,
Well, I like the way like the RC has worked. Like that whole kind of way that we're going into. I don't think it's fully fleshed out yet. I think that we need to empower users a little bit more, where like everybody is bringing on people they personally know and using their little bit of stake to make that happen, and completely get away from all the free stuff. I think that's really the way to go. That's to spread the network like that. Like
Yeah.
you bringing in your friends and your family and your cousins and whatever personally, but make it where it's easy for you to do that. I think that I think that's going to be the way. We're getting technical problems. I don't know.
Yeah. So delay reverb going on. Let me trim that down a little bit there. Yeah, on my mixer. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, I think I agree that getting your friends and family on board. It's just that has been a tough sell for myself, as well is actually getting some of my friends involved in Steam. I've been able to get a few people on, but it's been difficult to get them to stay active, I guess. Like, so I've had two people, I've had two people that I've gotten on board, and they started to do a little bit, but then I guess it's easy to get discouraged because you're not seeing a very big payback, and it is a little bit. I mean, it's like everything, you get out what you're putting into it. So,
I would say the biggest problem that Steam has is the engagement.
yeah,
We're unless you've really been around for a long time, and even the people who've been around for a long time, getting like 3 comments on your posts is like that's nothing.
yeah,
And I mean, people want to go where the audience is. Nobody likes to perform in front of no crowd, right?
right,
That's kind of and that's kind of what's going on in Steam, is there's not much engagement. So I think that's really, I mean, people say it's because they're not getting payouts, and I think I think the payouts are what make up for the lack of engagement.
yeah,
But if there was a lot of engagement, if people were getting ideas bounced off, and people were aside from the nice post, which I have actually seen less of now since it's made it more expensive for people to just go nice post a million times a day. Like, you're not allowed to do that unless you got a lot of SP now. So
yeah. Yeah, I like what you did on your show. I guess it was maybe a couple weeks ago, but you were like, "I'll give 5 Steam for anybody that can tell me what or one of your bands or whoever that you were playing." You were like, "I'll give somebody like 5 Steam if you could tell me the name of that band." I was like, "Yeah, that's cool. We should all be doing stuff like that." So, well, I mean, I guess it can help promote your show or whatever you're doing, but just doing these small little competitions. And then somebody brought up the point a while back where they were saying we should have it listed as your payouts in Steam, not the US dollar amount, because I mean, who knows where the price of Steam will go in the future. So every bit of Steam that you're collecting could be significant in the future. So, but the whole overall crypto markets, I guess, really have to be taken off, and then, people are really start thinking about that more. I think we're going to get to a point where, people are going to start, I will work for cryptos, in the future here. So,
I just noticed that Craigslist doesn't have that crypto, like the crypto option anymore. Used to.
Oh, really? Yeah.
You can, maybe it's just in this area, I don't know. But used to, you'd be able to click a button like accepts cryptocurrency, and like see all the stuff that people are selling for crypto.
Yeah.
But that's not here. I looked for it the other day and didn't see it. So I guess they might have taken it off.
Huh.
I hope they didn't.
Interesting. I just heard the other day that I can't remember. Okay, so I think it's Facebook and somebody else are creating their own cryptocurrency. I think. Did you hear about that story?
Facebook's been talking about it for a long time. But who was it? One of the big power brokers, J.P. Morgan. They made JPM coin or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. Something. Anyway, these guys are finally getting into it, and so it's not very far from now where I think, we're going to have a lot of people starting to figure it out. And I mean, you even have like the Twitter CEO guy, the Jack Dorsey guy, actually said that they were big into doing this crypto stuff. So yeah, I perceive that it's not going to be very long for now. That's awesome, El Goko. Yeah. That's cool that there's some people are already like not using fiat at all and just totally on cryptos. And so that's cool, man. Yeah. So yeah, I think we're going to start seeing a shift. And in me personally, I feel like we're going to head into a transition as humanity that we're going to either, but we kind of have a choice to go one or the other direction. And I think we could live in like complete abundance, and especially if we can able to keep fighting for truth and get everybody to, leave the central banks behind and definitely get into alternative methods and trade and stuff like that. And, cryptos is one of those transitionary things until we can, until we could build, all the self-reliant things that we need to create abundance in our own communities and beyond. And I think a lot of that, creating these intentional communities and doing the off-gridding homesteading, being more self-reliant, growing more of your own food, like just starting to take the steps to exiting the system as it stands right now. And we'll be able to move it more in the positive realm instead of the negative realm, in my opinion. That's like just my opinion, man.
I think we got a hell of a roller coaster to get there, though. I think there's gonna be a lot of ups and downs. Like, I mean, I see Bitcoin. Yeah. Like, people love Bitcoin right now, but I'm looking at it like I don't want to touch that shit.
A lot of problems. Yeah.
Like with the Lightning Network, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm buying into some FUD. Maybe I'm not really getting the whole picture, and that's totally possible because I haven't, I haven't spent a lot of time researching, and I just kind of got the TLDR. But it seems like Bitcoin is being manipulated by the big moneyed interests. It seems like it's being taken over, especially when you see things like the Reddit forum, the Bitcoin forum. Like, I guess the subreddit BTC is okay, but the one that's just our Bitcoin is like anything you say against Bitcoin or kind of slightly bad about Bitcoin gets you banned.
Yeah,
like that kind of shit.
Yeah, that's not good for something that does tell you that something's fishy, man.
But I mean, I also see it like it's one of the most inefficient coins. It's one of the most it provides the same amount of trust with a shit ton more electricity. It's also being centralized in mining in China and like all sorts of different problems that you're seeing. And it's like, yeah, I'm not really trusting that anymore.
Yeah, there are some arguments about one of the guys that I follow is I don't know if you're familiar with Bank to the Future, Simon Dixon, I believe is his name, but he did make some points about Bitcoin itself, is that without it, that you wouldn't have the whole crypto space as it stands right now, because nobody could go after the creator Satoshi and bring down the network, really. And so anybody can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so Bitcoin had, and that's why it's still worth something right now, is because it had first mover advantage. and it was the first one on the market. It made the market. So right now, it's got a lot. That's why all the altcoins move with Bitcoin. There's a good reason for that. So I mean, it absolutely, and even if it is the most inefficient one, it still has a lot more trust because of that. But that's only a matter of time, though. Like, time will heal that. Once once enough time has passed and people realize that they can trust these other altcoins,
Yeah.
these other altcoins provide just as much trust as that one does.
Yep.
Then the first mover advantage starts to be less and less of an advantage.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. And some guys in the space are already talking about that. Like, I know Craig Wright was talking about how people are going to see the flaws in the way that the Bitcoin network has chosen to go this year, is what he was saying. And so, that's something to be aware of. I don't know. I don't know if it'll. I think it'll probably go, and people will start focusing on a lot of the other alts, a lot more into the future. And some of the things that are already starting to happen is that some of the altcoins are not following Bitcoin with the market. And so you're starting to see some that are actually starting to gain some of their own traction and not be tied to what the action's taking with Bitcoin. I mean, for Steam, for instance, has not been following some of the market lately. So
it's had a pretty significant lag. I've seen, like, I saw Litecoin actually heading the pack this time, and then Bitcoin kind of followed it. And then a week later, then Steam went up from 34 cents to 44 cents. And I guess now, I haven't checked today, but it was like 40 cents last night when I looked.
Yeah. So I think, just like you're saying, they had the first mover action, and, anybody in the original market, if you're the only game in town, then, people got to use that. And so they had built the infrastructure and all that stuff. So the freedomx.io is something that's really cool, because now that allows, people to do straight trading pairs in Steam, which is exciting. It's pretty much like, having a, one of the early, when Coinbase started or whatever, that was like one of the first ways that you could just buy directly into cryptos instead of doing your peer-to-peer transactions. And so, I think some exciting things are going to be happening around Steam for sure. Still got, all the issues, but in my opinion, like, I don't know, I just the interaction with the other people on here, that Discord really brings people together on Steemit. And so, having something like, the chat capability built into the thing will probably happen, or somebody will develop the thing, but nothing's like as good as Discord out there right now. So
I hear Utopian is working on a replacement, and I really hope they.
That would be sick, man. Like, if you had something, it is kind of, it would be cool to have, like, being able to do the live chat capabilities in all that kind of stuff through, a lot of the various Steam things, like even on the games and all that kind of stuff. It would be neat to have the ability to integrate with all those things. How difficult that is to do is that's probably pretty difficult to do, but that's probably a big opportunity in building something like that.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Apparently, like, I don't know, I looked into Discord, which that's not very good. I mean, it's the same as like going into, making a YouTube or Facebook account. Like, these people are data miners. And if you read their terms of service, it makes it really sound like they're not data miners. But if you look at the venture capitalists that funded this, that's all they do is they fund data mining operations.
Yeah.
Like, but it took like $20 million to make Discord. That's what the cost was.
Yeah.
So, and really, I mean, so we got a stream going too. I got to catch that, but
yeah.
She's coming right up. But if we, what was I even going with this? I don't know.
You're talking about Discord and how it's kind of a data mining thing and how they're using it. So
yeah, but that's what I was actually going to. Like, they've made this feature rich. This is That's why people are using it over Slack. That's why people are using it over Rocket Chat and all these other things. Is because it's a nice intuitive interface that has like all sorts of features that give you the power and control of of doing it, or doing it the way you want to.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take care of this stuff.
All right, brother. Yeah.
You can go ahead and give your closing thoughts and do all that fun stuff. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, thanks for coming on and hanging out with me. And yeah, thanks again. Peace, brother. Yeah. So
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take care of this stuff.
All right, brother. Yeah.
You can go ahead and give your closing thoughts and do all that fun stuff. Thanks for having me on.
Oops, sorry about that, guys. I accidentally drug myself into the audience. But yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out for the show today. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. And this is kind of more of a freeform show, but very interesting guests on the beginning of the show with some exciting news about freedomx.io. So everybody get out there and look into checking that out. Yeah, sorry about that. And so just thank you to everybody that hung out in the audience today. Yeah, Krim came and hung out for a little bit. We got Darcico and El Gecko and Inertia and Pichima, Julia, Ponds Cave Ford. We had Rondon on for a little bit and was hanging out for the show. And we got Swoop, we got Soundwaves Photon here. And then we got Steam QA. And then we had What's Up was hanging out with us for a little bit. But yeah, I appreciate all you guys hanging out, and they really appreciate you guys and your feedback for the show and being the interaction here on Discord. And so next week is we'll be back for another show, and we got Crimson Clad Steamwave Saturday coming up, so everybody hang around. And I know Crim's got she's got some interesting stuff to talk about what's going on in the Steam ecosystem to share with everybody. And so thanks again for coming and hanging out. Oh, that was really interesting. What El Gecko you posted here for just wrapping up at the end of the show. Looking for panels too, $90 a panel. 48 panels on your roof. Wow. If that's really $90 a panel for 300 watts or so of panels, yeah, that's an amazing deal. But if I don't know, if they don't come with a warranty, that's something to think about. So think about the warranty and things like that. I'm definitely going to be checking out that link that you just dropped there, El Gecko. That's really cool. So, all right, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. And we will catch you back next week with some more stuff on, the whole being more self-reliant. And as always, one of the big aims of my show is to give you guys some tools on how to become more self-reliant and more independent, and to try to bring the withdrawal from the system if that's something that you so choose. So I'm going to keep bringing more information about stuff like that, and also look out for some of the posts from the Meadows and Makers account. And I will be issuing some maker challenges for rewards for Steam. And so some of those they're going to be coming out, and they'll probably be monthly. They'll be monthly challenges. So I really want to spur innovation from other people that are more DIY, want to do DIY in their own projects. So things like that, and even talking about different DIY projects is what I'd like to stimulate. So yeah, look out for that on the Meadows and Makers account. And again, thanks everybody for coming to hang out for the show. And check out Crim's Steamwave Saturday coming up right after this. So thanks again, everybody, and we'll catch you next time. All right, I'm going to play you guys out with some outro music. It's Wake by Divine and Junk Feathers. Thanks again. Peace.